Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is the feature presentation for today, which is the generational wealth transfer opportunity, which has been years in the making and is finally in production. If you know that theme song, by the way, please leave a comment. I will be thoroughly impressed if you know what that theme song is. But I especially picked that for today's podcast because, like I said, for anyone that's been in this market for a while, we are literally on the precipice of something so massive that the people on the outside world, the 99.9% of people, have no idea. So with that being said, welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is the recorded on Monday, airing on Tuesday, April 6th, 2021, Crypto Bull God Podcast. You can find me on Twitter, TradingView, and YouTube at CryptoBullGod. You may also shoot me an email at cryptobullgod@gmail.com. I'm going to be doing a segment where I'm answering questions of any type, anything from fitness, exercise, health related to cryptocurrencies to actuarial science, my profession as a credentialed actuary. It could be really about anything in life. The only taboo subjects are politics and religion. Anything outside of that's fair game, so drop me an email, cryptobullgod@gmail.com. So I'm real excited to bring you today's podcast. It's been a couple weeks since the last episode had come out. I was putting more emphasis on trying to get a few technical analysis videos out on my YouTube channel at CryptoBullGod. If you have not viewed both videos, the first one was Alt Season, simply titled Alt Season. You're definitely going to want to check that out to help level set your expectations moving forward regarding what you can expect to see, like what we're currently seeing today. I don't know what Tuesday is going to look like. Keep in mind this was recorded on Monday, but I'm sure Tuesday will look great too. Hey. And then the other video that I just released and has gotten, I've been pleasantly surprised on how much attention it's gotten, given that I dropped it over a holiday weekend, Easter. The Holy Crypto Trinity, which I've been talking a lot about. I dropped that video, so if you haven't checked it out, it's about HBAR1 and Mana. I would check that out as well. So with that being said, let's kind of get into things. A few things to talk about today. So we're going to talk about first taking a big picture perspective in terms of over the course of the next several months here, what I see specifically for valuations and timing for both Bitcoin and altcoin cycles, how all that's going to kind of play out this year. Going to dive into, and this might be the most important podcast that I possibly produce this year, because the next topic's going to be the pending bear market. This is something that I'm going to reiterate that you listen to today, and then to ground yourself next year, you come back to this podcast specifically and re-listen to this segment. It's really important stuff, the second segment. Kind of the third topic that we're going to talk about will be the chart of the week, which I've been doing. Going to get to some questions that people have, and then end on something of a lighter note that actually just occurred to me literally right before recording this podcast. So with that being said, let's kind of talk about what my expectations are specifically with timing and magnitude of both Bitcoin and then the altcoins, and how all these things are going to kind of run out and play out. Well, if you watched the alt season video, then it won't surprise you to see what is happening today. Bitcoin dominance is dropping. Altcoin dominance is rising, meaning that altcoins are capturing a larger percentage of the overall market capitalization. So the altcoins are growing at a higher rate than Bitcoin. And so kind of what I expect to see play out here is I expect to see a pretty large altcoin run here. Timing of months would be April and May. That's how it's kind of shaping up. I think April and May are going to be very massive for altcoins. You're going to see very large runs in everything out there. At the same time, I fully anticipate that over roughly the same time period, I anticipate Bitcoin's USD valuation to reach somewhere between 75 and 100,000. Now, after this point, how I'm looking at things, you'll get corrections and consolidations in both Bitcoin and altcoins. Now, altcoins, as I've explained, if you're, I've been following me for a while now, one of the basic concepts that I've explained in several videos is because Bitcoin is the largest of all players, and then all the altcoins, especially as you kind of trickle down in market cap ranking, they're less liquid, they have smaller valuations, and so those things tend to correct a lot more sharper and more severe. But the pro to owning, the advantage to owning those altcoins, though, if you know what you're doing, is you're going to have more upside potential, right? So there's risks on both sides. The risk is, if you're in a smaller illiquid market cap project, there's a greater likelihood on the positive side. There's a greater likelihood that you'll get greater price appreciation, but it'll be shorter lived, and there's more risk of much more downside than in Bitcoin. So again, let's kind of recap my expectations and be a little bit more specific. So April and May, I see altcoins doing a massive run, Bitcoin around the same time frame, doing a large run, hitting somewhere between 75 to 100,000. I think at that point what's going to happen is Bitcoin's going to correct, consolidate, and continue moving up. Over that time period, as Bitcoin's correcting and consolidating, the altcoins are going to have a pretty sharp correction, and they're going to consolidate as well. But guess what, folks? That is not the end of the story. No. We're getting 2 altcoin runs, and Bitcoin's going to make another run at this. Now the question is, how high do I see Bitcoin going, and what will happen with the altcoins? Well, my current viewpoint, and again, this is going to evolve over time as more price data accumulates, okay? Because what people don't understand, for the people who haven't studied the cycles, for the people who don't do technical analysis, for the people who haven't studied the market cycles, this is all one big cycle that's playing out right now, okay? And just like we're going to have mass appreciation in this bull cycle, there's also going to be a bear cycle, which we're going to touch on. But these cycles, all we can do is study the prior cycles and make inferred decisions based upon that, okay? And so kind of the way the charts to me are setting up, and having studied prior cycles and studying evolving price data that's been coming out, my current view is that Bitcoin will top sometime between July and October. What that means for altcoins is altcoins will typically top a little later than Bitcoin. One of the things that happens is a lot of the money that enters the altcoins, it's actually money that's coming out of Bitcoin, people selling Bitcoin. It's not new money coming into the market, in other words. It's actually money that is being transferred from Bitcoin into the altcoins. So what you'll see is you'll see a transfer of valuation going from Bitcoin into the altcoins. So if I'm saying Bitcoin will top sometime between July and October, to me that's suggesting that altcoins will top sometime between August and November. Boy, CryptoBullGod, that's a wide time range. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen between now and then. One of the things that I've really hit home on is I've actually wanted to see a correction in Bitcoin and some consolidation, because intuitively what I've tried to explain to people is it should intuitively make sense that if Bitcoin just keeps accelerating in price and doesn't have moments where it has periods of consolidation where it's sort of quote unquote boring, what that's going to lend itself to, that acceleration in price will lend itself to a higher likelihood and risk that we have a blow off top sooner and at a smaller valuation than we otherwise would if we created base layers along the way. If we went up, came down, consolidated, went up, came down, consolidated, that longer base that's being created over time will enable us to create higher space, will enable us to create a higher valuation and ultimately go up in price higher. So kind of have to see how Bitcoin and the rest of the market reacts from here. But, again, I'm expecting Bitcoin to top between those 2 months and then altcoins to be a month after in either direction when Bitcoin tops. So where do I see Bitcoin going? I mean, ultimately, where do I personally see the valuation going? Well, simplistically stated, it's roughly, these aren't exact figures, but roughly $50,000 USD Bitcoin is equivalent to $1 trillion. Okay, that's a rough number. Let's just be real simplistic here. Okay, I see Bitcoin ultimately peaking. Okay, again, this is price wicking to a level and then correcting. It's not Bitcoin going to the following price and staying there. I see Bitcoin peaking somewhere between $3 to $5 trillion. And if you're not good with math and can't do the multiplication. Gee, I can't speak. Multiplication in your head, it is 50,000 times 3 or 5 would put it somewhere between, $150 to $250,000. And again, I feel like the entire market's going to top somewhere between somewhere around 9 to 12 trillion, somewhere in that ballpark. So I think that valuation to me does make sense. So hopefully that helps answer your questions in terms of my outlook on the market. Now, in terms of the bear market, this to me is the more important segment within this podcast. I already know, I can already expect certain things to happen once the market has topped. And these are things you want to look for. You will have people come out and say, Bitcoin's not going to have a historical correction. There's too much institutional money in the market. It's not going to go through a severe correction. While I would argue that the valuation, because the valuation will be so much higher, that we may end up seeing less of a severe correction than historically in the past. I think Bitcoin historically, once it hits a euphoric top, I believe the percentage is 85 or 87%, meaning, do the quick math in my head. Yeah, so roughly Bitcoin went up to 20,000 last time in its prior all-time high and then corrected to, roughly 3,000. So that's like an 85% correction, right? 3,000 represents 15% of the valuation of 20,000, and so it corrected 85%. That's where it bottomed out. I do think it's possible that we have less of a severe overcorrection, but even if it's 70%, there's still going to be a massive correction that takes place in Bitcoin. And in the altcoins, what you have to understand is the altcoins, you're going to see 90, 95, 97% corrections in altcoins. Mark my words, this will happen. There is no coin, okay? There's no project that will be excluded from this correction. This is a market-wide correction that will take place. It's part of these cycles that I've referred to that are being exhibited within cryptocurrency. But there will be narratives out there that will lead you to believe otherwise. So I think it's really important that you ground yourself and understand that the assets that you're holding today, what you're invested in, you need, and this is why I encourage everyone to do their own homework and to follow value-added content creators like myself to help you make informed decisions. You're holding these assets right now, and every asset that you hold in the cryptocurrency market, as it's going up in value, that's what we call a paper gain. It's not a realized gain. You haven't sold anything, and you don't have the dollars sitting in your bank account to go out and do whatever with, right? It's a paper gain. And so it's nice to see your crypto project or your crypto investment shoot up. Let's say you have $1,000 invested and it shoots up to $10,000. Well, that looks nice, but guess what? You have to be able to sell to actually realize that, because your 10,000, if you don't sell it, could easily go back down to 5. So that's why I really encourage people to understand how to properly scale out of an investment and not get greedy. Greedy kills. There's no worse thing for an investor than being emotionally invested. You have to be unattached to your investment. And know ahead of time. You're not doing this on the fly as things are going up. You know ahead of time how you're going to scale out of your investments, and then that's what I try to help with. That's one of the things I try to help with. The other thing I can anticipate Oh boy, I can't wait for this. This one's gonna leave me. I don't know. At that point, I'm gonna be doing pretty well for myself, so I don't think I'm really gonna care. But I think the thing that's going to make me chuckle, there will be people who I've encouraged to get into this market, and for whatever reason or reasons, they've remained extremely stubborn. That's a question only they can answer. But I can already anticipate. Let's just talk about Bitcoin. Let's not even talk about any other crypto projects. I can already anticipate. Bitcoin is up at let's just say $200,000, right? And it's unbelievable. And so let's just say someone in my shoes has a proper scale out strategy such that I'm scaling out most of my investment leading up to this, right? So I have profited handsomely. Like, I've done very well for myself, right? And what's going to happen is Bitcoin's going to go through this bear cycle that I've just explained that it always goes through, and the entire crypto market goes through, and Bitcoin's going to go from $200,000 all the way down to like $40,000, all right, whatever the number is. And said person or said people who never got into the market will then take every opportunity to reach out to me and say, see, this is why I didn't get in, because it's just so volatile, and it's it might have been at $200,000, now it's $40,000. I what gets lost on people are all the fine points that I attempt to communicate. Like, notice the word choices I use. I never express any hype within any of my content. I express authenticity and realism through technical analysis, okay? I have communicated relentlessly that cycle tops will be very quick. And so you have to scale out. I encourage people to sell. See, you sell, you profit, right? So when you sell and profit and you have an effective exit strategy, when the prices come down, you're not getting burned. You've realized gains. You've made a lot of money. You've done well for yourself because you've put in the hard work and the education. But see, these finer points, and the finer point that I've been saying this entire time, that we will have a bear market very similar to the prior bear market, these facts get lost on people. And I think they get lost on people because they never really take the time to listen. They never take the time to listen. There's only little small points that they'll pick up on, and then when things fall apart, it's a I told you so moment, and it's going to be pure ignorance. It's frustrating because sometimes something that I lose track of and I often forget is because I've completely engrossed myself in this space for so long, I do in many ways, not always, but in many ways I do view myself as a subject matter expert. I do. When you've studied the market for thousands of hours, and you've spent as much time as I have, charting and studying the fundamentals, I just feel like I know so much. And so when I talk to some people, it's just, no matter the intelligence level, when I talk to some people, sometimes it just surprises me how little people know. But I just kind of forget the fact that I've completely engrossed myself in this stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping that the content that I provide on Twitter, I'm hoping the content that I provide on TradingView and on YouTube with my TA videos, I really hope that you find that stuff helpful because, again, this is coming from somebody who, I'm just a quote unquote average normal person. I grew up in a unknown town in the northeast part of the country. I just love mathematics, gravitated towards cryptocurrencies. I've always enjoyed teaching. And so this is an outlet for me. So I hope you see through that. You see that, not see through it, but you see it for what it is in the content that I provide. So with that being said, let's get into the chart of the week. Oh, this is going to be good. Speaking of hype and speaking of grounding yourself. Chart of the week. Without question, I have to give it up to XRP. XRP has had a epic day today. I'm looking at the charts right now, actually, and it is currently sitting over 90 cents. It has cleared major resistance. And kind of looking at a price target that I have now that if the daily today closes, it is Monday. Again, this is being recorded on Monday, April 5th. If we can close today above 76.5 cents, that's going to be extremely bullish. I would then expect prices, the next line of resistance that I have drawn here, I have a line of resistance drawn at, just want to make sure this is still accurate. Yeah, I have a line of resistance drawn around, let's make it real simple, $1.20. Somewhere in between $1.20, $1.25, somewhere around there. So I would anticipate prices to at least hit that level before we face further resistance. I mean, we've had such an epic move. So props to everybody who's been holding this asset. I have quite an extensive history of posting content with XRP. I have a video out there, if you haven't checked it out, that gave my current sentiment regarding XRP after the SEC filing and the douchebag Jay Clayton. Surprised he's not in witness protection with how many people want to see him. I'll just leave it at that. But I do expect further upside here and then some consolidation, and we're certainly going to break all-time highs. I kind of found it comical. I posted the Holy Crypto Trinity TA video that I had mentioned earlier. I saw that I had 2 dislikes on that video, and I can almost guarantee you who those 2 dislikes are. So in that video, I gave my realistic view on what I saw this year, and I expressed, hey, XRP has definitely disappointed me this year. I was expecting, I forget the exact price levels, but I was expecting XRP to really shock everyone and go up to, I forget what my ultimate price level was, somewhere around $30. And, based on kind of how things have been playing out the past few months, I definitely do not see that happening. And I mentioned in that Holy Crypto Trinity video that I felt a $6 to $8 valuation and I explained why, a $6 to $8 ultimate target for XRP this cycle was reasonable. And, with the rule of sevens that I explained in the video, maybe we could see a wick up to like $9 or $10. I certainly think that's possible, but I don't see anything higher than that this cycle. Guarantee you those 2 dislikes were from people who didn't like that message. Guys and gals, please keep in mind, you see it every time I record a video. You see it on the covers of my TA videos. I can almost guarantee you that I can guarantee you that 99% of the people who follow me on Twitter, I know more and have spent more time studying Ripple and XRP than you have. Okay. I have always promoted the technology and spoken very highly of the organization and the technology. And there's no question that from a technology standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint, XRP is like a Lamborghini and Bitcoin is like a Toyota Camry. I'm not debating that, but all I can do is provide you honest analysis based on the charts. That's what I'm doing. So the way XRP has responded to this cycle so far, to me, I'm being very honest when I say it's been disappointing. I mean, everything else in my portfolio has had a greater level of price appreciation than XRP. It's been disappointing to me. And so, there's the fundamental side and there's the technical analysis side. And I think people get lost. I think most people actually get lost in understanding that there's a huge difference between the fundamentals and the technicals, and they don't always line up. Like the use case for XRP and what Ripple's looking to do with it is a bazillion times more valuable than the current use case that's being slated for Bitcoin. There's no argument against that. Like eliminating Nostro Vostro accounts and being able to interchange currency seamlessly with zero fees, essentially zero fees, and not having banks within other countries holding foreign currencies and tying up money. Look, there's so much value there that XRP can add with that narrative. But again, what I'm looking at is the technical analysis side. And from the TA side, yeah, I don't see my original price targets being met. The other thing I've also encouraged is making sure you're diversified between XRP and XLM. I have been quoted on numerous occasions stating that I think my line of thinking, based on unique charts, a unique chart I created for XRP and XLM relating their relativities, their USD relativities, not market cap, USD relativities. I think XRP and XLM will have a very similar market cycle top this year. Again, hear what I'm saying. I'm not saying market capitalization. I'm saying whatever dollar value they hit, I think they're going to be pretty similar. So, but again, props off to XRP because it's nice to finally see that it's going to be breaking $1. If not today, it's going to be breaking it extremely shortly. So cheers to everyone who's been holding this. I know this has been, damn, I mean, this project is probably the project that it's the project that I'm most familiar with. It's the project that I know best is Ripple and what they're using XRP for. So just want to say congratulations to everyone holding this. I expect a lot more further upside. So let's get into some questions. I had a few questions come my way that I wanted to address. Actually, I was just going to do one, but figured I'd hit on a few here. I'm trying to keep these podcasts to under 30 minutes. We're running up against the clock in that aspect, so I'll try not to hold up too much more of your time. Anyway, let's get to the first question. I was really, very looking for the right words on the tip of my tongue. I was very honored. That's not the right word. We're not in medieval times. Medieval times. Why did I say that? I was very, I don't know, I'm going to use the word honored. Someone reached out to me and essentially asked me, they emailed me and they said, would you offer basically one-on-one coaching, one-on-one advice? Let me look at this email again to make sure. I don't want to misquote this. But it was one-on-one guidance related to helping to understand the markets and buying and selling, et cetera, et cetera. Let me make sure. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So, okay. So, this guy's a big XRP investor. So, he's like, I got to email him back because I'm sure he's feeling very good today. So, anyway... So, by the way, you know who you are at this point. I just wanted to say thank you for the kind email that you sent me. I really appreciated what you said in there. Yeah, so basically what he's asking for is if I offer any sort of one-on-one guidance or help in evaluating the markets. And I would say flattered was the word I was looking for. I'm very flattered by that. I really am. But at this time, that's not something that I'm entertaining. I would say to you, sir... just continue to follow my content and ask me questions. You can now, if you're emailing me every single day, I can't promise you I'm going to be getting back to you, or DMing me on Twitter. I can't promise you that. But, if you have some questions that I'm not answering within my TA, look, I'm here to help you. So fire away, ask some questions, and I'll respond when I can, to help you out. That's not something though that I'm considering at this point. Offering one-on-one services like that, but I am very flattered though. One of the last things I wanted to mention on that correspondence I had with this gentleman is he's not located. The most I'll say, I'm not going to say where he's located, but he's not located in the United States. And I hit on this before, but I think it's so cool that you can interact with people on Twitter that are located in different geographic areas all over the world, right? So, I think it's cool I can interact with someone in California, but I think it's even cooler that I can interact with somebody in like Singapore or Japan or England or Italy. I just think that is so cool how it connects you. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to grow both my subscriber base on YouTube and my followers on Twitter, so I can get that level of engagement. I love the idea of interacting with people all across the world. It's so cool. So the other thing I wanted to get to, let me see here. There were a few other questions I wanted to get to that someone was asking me. Yeah, so someone was asking me, this is someone who I've actually known for an extremely long period of time, who's like family, even though I haven't seen him in God knows how long. It's amazing how deep those bloodlines can, non-bloodlines, but bloodlines can run when you know someone for so long. Anyway, a few noob questions here that I can help address before we end on a funny note. So the basic premise of the first question is, really, why would you want to use Coinbase versus Coinbase Pro? Pretty easy and straightforward. Coinbase, the advantage to using Coinbase is the interface. It's so basic that for anyone, I'll put it to you like this way. My father uses Coinbase. So I got him to invest into some cryptocurrencies. He uses Coinbase. I'm not introducing him to Coinbase Pro. He'll get lost. So if you're afraid about someone who would benefit from the easiest interface and is just doing basic market buy and sell orders, buying at whatever, I'm not going to get into too technical of a conversation on buy limits and sell limits and market orders, but I would just Google it. Else we're going to go on, and this podcast is going to continue much longer. But if you're just looking, if you're very new to the market and even to stocks and things like that, I would suggest Coinbase, although the fees are higher. That's the thing. The fees are very high. Coinbase Pro, it allows you to do buy and sell limit orders. It also allows for market orders as well. And the big advantage beyond that, for someone like myself, I mean, I need that. I would never use I've used Coinbase actually to make small purchases, but 99.9%, if I'm using Coinbase, 99.9999% is using Coinbase Pro. Because beyond that, also the fees are much, much cheaper. So again, the only advantage to using regular Coinbase is the interface. I would say if you're a little bit more savvy and you've done stocks before and stock trading before, check out Coinbase Pro. I don't think it's all that technical. You're going to get lower fees, and you can also stipulate what prices you want to buy and sell things. So it's a lot more advantageous. So that's the difference between Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. This is a really good one. So I just tweeted about this the other day. So by the way, you are not following me on Twitter, whoever you are. Get on Twitter and follow me. No excuses. So crypto, unlike the stock market, so funny how your perspective can change. So I always just accepted the fact that the stock market trades between, except for off hours, or after hours, essentially it trades 9:30 to 4, right? And it's just something I accepted. I used to trade stocks, buy stocks, not even in the stock market doing anything. I'm all in crypto. But anyway, crypto is 24/7. I mean, how beautiful is that? If you wake up Sunday morning at 7:30 and you feel like making a trade for Dash, by all means, go for it because it's 24/7. I mean, and I think that's the way everything's going to be going. The stock market's going to be going the same way. Everything's going to be 24/7. Just wait and see. Things will be tokenized. You're going to be able to buy fractions of a share of things. I mean, the whole world is changing in ways that if you've done any level of research into it, you would realize that. But anyway, to answer your question, yes, crypto is traded 24/7. Yeah, taxes. So there's a tax question here. Boy, you have a lot. I didn't realize how many questions you had here. Taxes. I wouldn't say tax. I haven't found filing taxes to be overly cumbersome for myself. However, I will say I've done a fair bit of trading this year in particular, so I think next year might be a little different. There are certain platforms out there for filing taxes that supposedly make it easier for cryptocurrency. I can't think of the preferred one that I've heard of, but how about this as a follow-up? If I utilize a service for filing taxes, I will let you know. The best thing you can do, to be honest, is to keep track of your buys and sells within an Excel spreadsheet. That's the most prudent thing to do, even as just to double check yourself and have some sort of paper record of it. I would encourage you to do that, but I don't think it's an overcomplication. I wouldn't let that stress you out. I think we're coming up on the last question here. So, yeah, isn't that the case? Too busy. My friend here, who I've known forever. He's a really intelligent guy, and he so the reason, I guess, I was joking with him that I've been telling him about cryptocurrencies for a while, and he never got in, and he just said that his work-life balance was all out of sorts, which happens to a lot of people, so totally makes sense. I thought there was one other question. Maybe I missed it, but yeah. Last question, guys. So, and girls, are there any girls listening out there? Leave a comment if there's any girls listening out there. There may be one girl in particular I'm thinking of who hopefully is listening if she's made it this far. Yeah, so great question, whoever you are. But the question is, for some of the, for two of the three Holy Crypto Trinity tokens I've mentioned, both ONE and HBAR, they are currently, although I expect at some point soon they will be, they are currently not listed on Coinbase. So where do you buy those at? So there are two exchanges that I use currently. Exchange one, we all know, is Coinbase Pro, although I've moved a lot of funds off of there for various reasons. The other exchange is Binance US. Binance US. And so on Binance US, you can buy ONE and you can buy HBAR. So that's it for questions. So again, please leave me an email, CryptoBullGod@gmail.com, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have. And kind of in closing here, something that really frustrated me earlier. Maybe I shouldn't get so frustrated at some things, but I don't know if you can relate to this. But something that frustrated me right before here is has to do with toilet paper. Why can I not just buy normal-sized toilet paper? I go on Amazon, I'm low on toilet paper, and everything is a mega roll. And the mega rolls piss me off because they don't fit in the toilet paper dispensary correctly, right? So you put the mega roll in the toilet paper thing that holds it, and it's like locked in there and squeezed. So when you need the toilet paper, you're like trying to mess with it and get the thing off, and when it's a brand new roll, and it pisses me off every single time. Like I hate the mega rolls. Just like I hate mega rolls with paper towels. They're too damn big. Like if you have a paper roll dispensary that's like flush up against your wall and you put that mega roll, doesn't even fit. Like it's just it's so frustrating. I get it. Economies of scale, companies are producing things. I get the whole economies of scale things and why it makes sense from a cost benefit analysis. But I got to tell you, as the end consumer, does anybody else leave a comment if this frustrates you? If you've made it this far in the podcast, leave me a comment. Do you share my frustration? Mega rolls. I can't stand mega toilet paper rolls, and I can't stand mega paper towel rolls. So I don't know, that's my latest frustration that I just had right before this podcast. So anyway, I hope you really enjoyed the content today. In closing, as we will continue to do for the remainder of most of this year, please join me in a moment of silence for all of those I attempted on multiple occasions to get into crypto and have remained ignorant. Thank you.